Hello and welcome to Ultra Q episode 8. We watched another 3 episodes of Ultra Q. One of them one of them we're gonna have some issues with. 2 of them were really good though.
Yeah.
But we can't get into that right now. My co-hosts are Mel.
Hello.
And Razan.
Hello.
And I'm Red. I don't think I said my name. I'm Red. I'm not starting this again. How have we been? Sorry, I have
Not busy.
Not busy. I've got back from looking around at doing viewings at flats, apartments and things. So I've had a busy day.
I've had assignments at Cop University.
Cop. Oh yeah.
Rip.
Not to clarify, not real Cop University.
I'm not actually a cop. But just I remember on Friday I had a lecture where one of my professors was talk about all that stuff about when Iraq was complaining about their citizens dying from sanctions. That was bullshit. It's definitely the government doing it. I'm like, excuse me.
What the fuck? Wow.
This is what this university actually believes.
Lovely. That's great.
Got a manufacturer consent for people who can go and work in government, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I did not do that. You know what I've been doing lately? I've been catching up on Akane-banashi, which is a manga in Shonen Jump. I'm all caught up now. It's only been going for a year. What do you know about Rakugo?
I have seen the one anime about it, but only the first season, and I like that show.
I know nothing.
But I don't know much else about it.
So Rakugo is just, it's a form of traditional form of Japanese entertainment. It's basically storytelling with a lot of formal trappings. Akane-banashi is a Rakugo manga. It is specifically a Rakugo sports manga. Which I'm impressed that they managed that. But it's basically about Akane who enters the profession, decides to become a Rakugo performer in a weird vengeance quest to try to get answers out of the guy who expelled her dad from a Rakugo school. So far, I'm really enjoying it. If you like manga where people pull funny faces, holy shit. Akane-banashi's amazing. They also do some great work, with the format is just lettering and speech bubbles and stuff to distinguish between, because Rakugo is one person performing all the roles of a story, right? Doing dialogue and stuff. And so using speech bubbles and the text fonts and stuff to distinguish between characters as well as the actual drawn character's face doing the performance is really cool.
That is really good.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed, and as of right now, it is getting into it is opening up into being a manga about like the ideological conflict between two rival Rakugo schools.
Ooh, fun.
So a sports manga.
Yeah. It's like, oh man. Yeah, the pair, because like it's the writer and the artist were previously did like a soccer manga or something. So yeah, they have just tried their hand at sports manga before and just decided, yeah, we're just gonna do a bunch of research on Rakugo, I guess, and make a sport. See if we can make it competitive.
I mean, the thing is, like, you can apply the sports anime formula to a lot of things. For instance, my favorite idol anime series, Pretty series, is basically sports idols for kids, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Akane-banashi, I've had a good time. There's only like 53 chapters so far. Yeah, it's good. I don't have much else. I've been kind of busy this week because I'm trying to move.
I've been pretty busy too, so I also don't have too much else, but my friends and I finally got back to Blood Plus. We kept not being able to... When you have 4 people watching a thing, it can be hard to all coordinate times where you can watch episodes of anime together. But we were able to sit down, and we're well into the second half of the series now. OP switch happened, Colors of the Heart, one of the greatest openings of all time. One of those examples of the opening being far better than the show it belongs to. Tragedy.
Die Buster.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's probably trying to think of other examples, but
would you say it was Colors of the Heart?
Yes, by Overworld.
Okay.
It goes hard. Yeah. And also just the animation is just beautiful. In contrast to the show itself. So I will say, last time I talked about Blood Plus, I'm like, yeah, it's junk food anime. It's very middle of the road for me. Getting a little bit better now that the central antagonist is around and doing things. They introduced Vampire Organization 13, who aren't great, and the show didn't need more characters, but they do this really fun thing.
It can't be that bad.
It's funny because the last time when you're talking about like, oh, there's an Organization 13 and then this happened in Blood Plus, I was like, oh damn, a lot of shows do this. Yeah, they end up doing like pretty I don't want to say interesting, but like they do stuff that's more interesting than what the show has been doing. They have like a little like star-crossed like lovers doomed romance for one of the characters on the hero side and one of the Vampire Organization 13 girls. They play around a lot with the fact that these are like lab-grown vampire children who need the main character's blood, and none of them think like, oh, we can just ask if she can give us some of her blood. They just immediately assume right away we have to kill her. So there's some fun tension stuff with that. And then also, last time I complained that it never feels like anything's happening with the show because they keep juggling so many different characters. For example, there's this subplot with this journalist who's looking into all this weird vampire shit. And one of the main characters, like, high school friends who is crushing really hard on him. But he wants nothing to do with her. He wants to go and help his stepsister do vampire combat shit, even though he's just a normal guy and he can't contribute to any combat whatsoever.
Shiro Emiya. Sorry.
Yeah, massive Shiro. Like, if Shiro and Yosuke were one guy, that's kind of who this guy is. He looks like Yosuke, too. We keep making fun of him. But, anyways, there's this whole subplot throughout the show of these two chasing after the main party, and they play it like they're uncovering a mystery, but we've seen everything that the party has been doing, and what all of the villains have been doing, so it's just these characters rediscovering information, but the show is acting like they're the perspective characters. It's really weird, but anyways, they finally caught up to the main party, So I think that's finally done with, and that'll be less lost time each episode. So yeah, it's light thumbs up on Blood Plus. I'm curious to see if it sticks the landing. We're like 30 episodes in, it's 50 overall. Yeah.
So sometimes mid is fine.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with Blood Plus. When we're all said and done, we are going to go backwards and watch whatever the hell this is called. It's on my shelf. Blood the Last Vampire, the original. Yeah. James Cameron has a quote on the box. I don't know if I said that last time, but I just think it's really fucking funny.
Could you tell us what the quote is?
Shit, what is it? Oh shit, was it not on the box? Was it the poster? It might have been the poster, but here, I'm gonna look up Blood Plus James Cameron quote while
fantastic.
I fiddle here. Blood Last Vampire James Cameron. It's something really generic.
Thanks, James Cameron.
Thanks, James Cameron.
Did I? Oh, no. Okay, here we go. It's from one of the posters. Or no, sorry, it's from a different DVD release. The world will come to consider this work as the standard of top quality digital animation.
No, it
James
won't.
Cameron.
That's not true.
It did not.
It's always funny what, like, the seasonal brain rot has always been there. Yes, this that I'm watching right now is the most important thing. It will be important years to come. Well, we'll see.
Then when I'm done with that, I'm going to go read the novelization, which was done by Oshi, and I'm very curious to read Oshi's prose.
Oh, yeah, that'll be interesting.
The Vlad Love novelization.
Oh, God.
I have not thought of Vlad Love, or really, like, that's one of those things where I've been like, yeah, I'll get to that someday. And then the fact that was your first Oshi joint is still very funny to me.
Iconic.
Yeah.
All I remember about Vlad Love is that one girl that sometimes is a bit like a snake. It happens like once, and like I associate that's my entire memory of the show is she just
the best
acts
episode
like a snake.
The best episode of the show is that they have to do a play for the cultural festival, so they do an adaptation of Castlevania.
I think that's the exact episode I'm thinking of.
Oh, and then the last thing I wanted to say is that I posted this at like 2 a.m. in our group chat. I don't know if y'all saw this. Fathom, at least in the States, I don't know if they're doing it elsewhere, are going to be doing a showing of Godzilla Tokyo SOS.
I do need to see that.
I don't know what is the lead up to watching this movie, but I kind of want to try to catch up in time. So I might be going on a Godzilla bender.
It looks from the poster like 1, Mechagodzilla is in it. 2, Mothra is in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what.
Oh, this came out in 2003. I got a lot of Godzilla to watch. Fuck.
All right, gang. Announcing our sister podcast, Godzilla Q.
Ah, fuck.
What is the Q?
What is the Q?
What is the Q?
Listen. I had 5 seconds to come up with the title. I couldn't.
Godzilla Q is just Q with a G.
There we go.
Mal, what have you been up to?
Been some stuff. Maybe I'll wait until next week or something. But like, I'll talk about some stuff. First of all, I got to the infamous, maybe not infamous, the famous opera scene in Final Fantasy VI. I feel like this is a similar thing to like the ending of Mega Man Legends 2, where I feel like the tone of that scene is just completely different than I expected.
Oh.
It's a kind of cool scene. It is like in the Pixel remaster, so it's like definitely like presentation is different than the SNES original, and there's voicing in it. But I didn't realize that this entire sequence is basically a sequence of gags, where it's like, oh, we are trying to abscond with a pirate and get like a seal on his ship, so we're going to get one of the girls to be an actress in this play. And also, this squid guy is doing some Looney Tunes ass shit where he's gonna drop an anvil to disrupt the show, and you have to fight him. And it's like, okay.
Nice.
This is funny because again, 6 is like the one I still somehow haven't played, and I did not know that. Though I again, like you said, I've heard of this scene talked about in like hushed tones and whispers of like reverence for like a decade plus now.
Yeah, like
really funny.
it seems like a cool enough like opera scene, like flexing on the original hardware, but like the context around it is like there's just jokes happening throughout this entire sequence, and you have to sneak up in the rafters to fight this octopus, and you end up falling on the stage, and then you fight on the stage and pretend it's still the play going, and it's like, okay.
Nice.
It's fun.
People pretending that the real shit that's happening is still a play. My favorite gag. One of.
It's the best in like every Magical Girl show ever.
Yeah. You know what's a good show? Yeah, Futari wa Precure. Good show.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I think I'll say some other stuff later. Also, I've been watching Kamen Rider Hibiki, which is the last Kamen Rider show of the modern era I have yet to touch.
Okay.
I'd seen basically every post-2000s Rider show except for Hibiki. I didn't finish all of them because some of them I just dropped. Rip to Ghost and Saber.
Yeah, I don't remember people being super happy with Saber.
I was about to say, aren't those the two everyone kind of hates?
Yes. Also, I have Revice on indefinite hiatus, but you know.
Is that the dinosaur one?
That was one from last year.
Okay. The only thing, I think, if that's the one I'm thinking of, the only thing I know about that is the main actor said some horrendously racist shit at some point.
Yeah, the the voice actor for Vice is kind of shitty. Yeah. And then there's an arc in the show where like he's the protagonist, where the actual actor comes in and plays like his old soccer coach, and he's just like, oh man, what a cool guy. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
No, he isn't.
Even though he's such a cool guy, even though he's the villain of that arc. But anyway, Kamen Rider Hibiki is an damn, this is a fucking weird show in the context of Kamen Rider.
Okay.
The protagonist is not the Kamen Rider. The protagonist's point of view character is a middle school student in his third year, called Asumu Adachi, who's like, as you'd expect, not knowing what he's doing. He's trying to do his high school entrance exams, and by sheer coincidence, he bumps into this 30-year-old man, Hibiki, who he sees in the mountains just become a Kamen Rider and then kill some demons. And he's just like, what the fuck? Kind of cool, though. And then they become, like, friends in this weird way, where, like...
Okay.
Hibiki is, like, this cool, kind of, like, cooler older brother dad character who, like, Asumu's like, dang, I want to... He's just cool, and I like chilling with him, and he just seems like a cool guy. And, like, meanwhile, Hibiki's like, that's a nice kid. I like this kid. And it has, like, the vibes of kind of, like, a slice of life show, despite being, like, a Kamen Rider show. Like, the vibes are just chill, and, like, the conflicts are mostly mundane, which clashes a bit when the monsters are very much out here killing people. That does happen at least once an episode. Like, oh, some civilians just fucking beefed it. But the stakes...
Let me tell you about today's episode. Sometimes people die.
Yeah.
Yep.
The stakes just feel really chill, and because like it's worth noting that this is like the same producer as the guy who made Kuga.
Is that not a chill show?
No.
Okay.
But both they're like, they both feel like different from other shows in the franchise, but like they're both different from each other in different ways, intentionally so. In Kuga, like the monsters are a very public threat, and like the stuff that they do is like inflecting society in a big way. And meanwhile here they're just like, some guys die in the forest and the Kamen Riders will take care of it, don't worry about it.
Right.
And like, so far only 2 riders have been introduced, but I know there's like a bunch more of them. But like the vibe between like the riders and like the team is just like they're coworkers in like, and they got like an office underneath the cafe, and it's just like, oh, we gotta take care of this the monsters over here.
That's really funny.
And like Hibiki goes out with this like one of the girls who works there. Like they take a van into the woods and they set up camping. It's like, well, we're gonna hunt down the monster and kill it.
That does sound like a weird Kamen Rider. That is not. I did not expect Kamen Rider to vary quite that much.
I mean, Hibiki is very explicitly trying to be a very different show from other Kamen Rider shows.
Right.
So
You're
it's not
selling me on it, though. I'm a sucker for anything that does the thing where the perspective character and the hero are different people. I always love when things do that.
Dawn Brothers technically does this.
Ooh, God, I really need to catch up to that. My friends are waiting for me.
The POV in Dawn Brothers is the Yellow Ranger, not the Red Ranger.
Ooh, fun.
Nice.
But yeah. So yeah, they're like the other thing is so one, a lot of the fights and stuff and the scenes take place in the woods, in the mountains, and it's pretty cool from that perspective. Like most Kamen Rider shows are, especially for budgetary reasons, we're just filming in the same 10 locations in Tokyo plus a quarry.
Yep.
You know the one. They got the one.
They got under that bridge, in front of this fountain. But this one has a lot more rural settings, and it's kind of cool from that perspective. The riders in this one are called Oni riders. Like they're kind of going for like a. Hold on, let me show you a picture, so you can get a good sense of it, because it's hard to explain otherwise. And like they're fighting kind of like Japanese demons. I forget the name off the top of my head. They're not like yokai or something like that, but like it's definitely going for like a traditional Japanese vibe, I think. Mm-hmm. It's like they show like they flash kanji on the screen sometimes when it's like, hey, here's the mood of the scene.
Right.
Do
they now? Here's the question: Do you have does whatever you're watching translate those kanji?
Yes.
Okay, so I just had flashbacks to playing Sekiro and getting like
also
kanji,
the logo is
kanji
like
flashing up and just being like, I guess that means danger. I don't know what it means.
The logo is displayed vertically, so just so you know, it's going for that traditional vibe.
Yeah,
I'm putting a picture of the riders in the chat so you can give.
That's Judge Dredd. That is Judge Dredd.
Sure, I guess. They don't use belts to transform. There's like a musical motif going on. Like they transform with like Hibiki uses like a tuning fork that he hits against something, and then he puts it to his forehead, and then he just kind of, he doesn't say henshin or anything. He just like transforms. And it's cool. I haven't gotten to the guy on the left in this picture, but the guy on the right is called Hibiki. And because the musical motif, their weapons are also musical motif. So Hibiki, he's got twin clubs, which are supposed to be drumsticks, and he uses them like clubs, but also his finisher, he attaches like a plate to the demon that's meant to be like the drum pad, and then he just goes to town.
Nice.
And then the guy on the right, Hibiki, his thing is he has a trumpet that is also a gun.
Okay. Yeah, naturally.
Yeah, of course. And like there's an element of like, one episode like Hibiki is injured, so he's like, I gotta train, so he goes into the mountain and train. And Asumu, he's like this kid he's like, he has things that he's interested in, but he doesn't know what he wants to do. Like he's clearly like interested in like music and stuff, but he's not like, hey, why do you want to go to this school anyway? Are you interested in the jazz band? He's like, I don't know. And he's just sort of like listless about himself, but also he just like sees the Kamen Rider extended support group as like they're kind of like, they both like calm him down in a way. Like he's like, oh, I can feel better about myself after talking to this guy, but also I want to do good, so I don't want to talk to him when I'm not feeling like I'm doing bad, kind of thing.
Right.
So just interesting character dynamics. Everyone's kind of chill and fun. And
cool.
Just a neat, interesting show.
These guys look sick.
Yeah. I will say that there is a sword of Damocles hanging over the latter part of the show, but I will talk about that later, along with production history stuff.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah. And I think
Nice.
I'm gonna leave that for now. There's other stuff I could have talked about, but I can save that for next week. I don't need to spend 2 hours talking about things as usual.
I remembered I have one more thing.
Shoot.
So, my friend reminded me that I signed up for a fighting game tournament in May that is now about 80 days away. And I went, oh yeah, I haven't been practicing at all. Fuck me. So, anyone listening to this and you're normal and you want to play some games of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Under Night In-Birth EXE Late Clear, or Melty Blood Type Lumina, hit me up. I need people to practice with.
I'll play with you.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay.
I have not played 2 of those games much at all, but
Yeah, it's fine.
They are games that I wanted to play anyway. So, Under Night would be hell though without rollback, but you know.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess UMVC doesn't have rollback either.
No, it doesn't. And from my experience, the online has never been great with Marvel, but it's fine.
That's fine.
Listen, I started playing, like, Marvel 3 was when I got into fighting games. I suffered that netcode back in the day.
Funny enough, my locals is having a Marvel 3 tournament this week. Lowest stakes in the world, because, like, bi-weekly tournaments of different games, but, like, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
It's coming back. Evo has it this year.
Yeah. Next we bring back, I don't know.
Fighting games, the wildest multiplayer scenes in the world. Just weird what sticks around. I've played a few fighting games, but like I'm not in it. So like I'm still kind of got like outside of perspective of like, damn, you know, you really like that game from like 15 years ago that still gets winds up on big screens and stuff.
A bunch of the people at locals, at my locals, like Akatsuki Blitzcamp, which is like an early 2000s Dojin fighter.
So
that game is bad optics, but that game is pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean,
is that the game that Akatsuki from
Under Night is from? Yes.
Yes, I was gonna say.
there are also characters who are definitely Nazis.
He's secretly a good guy.
He's secretly a good guy.
The other characters not so much, but the main characters is not.
He may look like it, but he is not a fascist.
Yeah.
Or something. That game is fun though. But that game also has a Blitz Tank, which is just a very funny character.
Yeah, I'm so happy they added him to BB Tag.
Right, have you seen Blitz Tank?
I have seen Blitz Tank. I have played BB Tag.
Yeah.
I got into BB Tag for the most cursed reasons. One, because it was free, and two, because I have as a teenager I got too invested in Ruby for my own good. Not a good show. Don't watch it. But you know, if I can play as Blake Belladonna in a video game, I'm going to do it.
Funny enough, my last team in that game was Akatsuki Ruby. So
nice.
I probably would play Akatsuki in BB Tag too, or Under Night, because he plays exactly the same.
He's very straightforward in Under Night.
He was my main for a while, and then I ended up playing Mario, who is a puppet character in Type Lumina, and I was like, going backwards, I wonder how I'd feel about Chaos, who is...
I hate so much that Nasu was just like, I'm gonna name this video game character Mario.
Hell yeah, he did. Little rat gremlin Catholic bastard. Oh fuck, no wonder I like him. But I decided to go backwards and then play Chaos in Under Night, who is a nerd boy with a grimoire and a giant lizard friend. that you can
yes.
Yeah.
unleash on people, and I'm having a lot of fun, but I have a lot of learning to do, particularly with him. Switching mains while in the lead up to a tournament, probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm not playing to win, so...
Yeah, picking a main is hard sometimes. Sometimes you're like, I like this character, and then a few months later you're like, but would I like someone else, though?
My thing getting good with Akatsuki is I kind of got bored of just doing the Shoto stuff.
Yeah, he's a Shoto.
Yeah.
Extremely funny. He can do a DP with double down, but...
Yeah. That's just becoming a thing these days.
In the original game, he has that, and I had once in, like, we had an Akatsuki tournament at locals, and, like, at some point, I don't know what I was doing, because I was definitely, like, not thinking, but I did a DP over a Firefall. It was just really funny.
Fighting games are good.
Fighting games are good.
But yeah, I took out my Guilty Gear Strive registration to replace it with Marvel 3.
New character got announced. Bedman ?
Hell yeah. See, I'm I just needed to go back to my roots, but I kind of wish I could have signed up for Strive as well.
I need to go back to my roots and play more Plus R.
That game is good.
One day I'll actually play VSAV. That's the main goal.
I need to commit to playing a fighting game more than, like a couple of months and going like, yeah, I'm done.
I mean, the thing is, that's mostly what I do, and then I'll, like, come back to random bullshit every few months and then touch it for 2 to 3 months and then be like, okay, I'm good. And
yeah, I'm really bad at it.
No, go ahead.
I don't have a main game or anything. I'm kind of just free-spirited, which probably comes to the detriment of my skill, as well as the fact I don't lab at all, but,
I would like to develop some degree of competency, but I don't know what that looks like, so rip.
I think the closest I've gotten was I lost like a year of my life to Mban.
Oh yes,
that game. Jesus Christ. I did get into a random shuffle lobby where I beat one of the 2 people who won Evo, so...
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that somewhere.
Yeah, so that was the point where I was like, okay, maybe I'm alright at this one.
Yeah.
I don't think I never played enough Mbon to get a main, but I think the last time I played like with Katagina's mech, and I was like, yes.
Yes.
I think she has both the Gotchaladen in that game, but also the Einrad, which is great.
Speaking of, I don't know if this will be true when this episode comes out, but Katagina's still in the poll.
Yes.
Yes.
Plurt currently kicking someone's ass. Hiro Yui's ass. So that's good.
Who's Katagina fighting?
Who is Katagina fighting? Someone vamp while I look this up.
My Mban mains were double X for 3000, and if I wanted to play back, I played Crossbone X2.
I did play double X a bit just because it was recommended.
It's a good suit.
Yeah.
I wish the Nightingale was better in those games. I love my chunky boy.
The Nightingale looks so ridiculous, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is my favorite mech design, bar none. But yeah, I wish that they would release EXVS2 over here finally. It's been, I think, 3 years this year.
It's so funny. I actually bought Mbon while I was still watching Wing, which was my first Gundam, because I was like, hey, I'm getting to Gundam. This seems cool. And now I actually know what all the robots are.
Mbon got my friend into Gundam.
Unfortunately, we have to kill old Yella. Katagina versus Cecily. Goodbye, Cecily.
No! You know what, Katagina, though.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, it makes sense. Victory is just reusing scrapped ideas from F91 anyway.
Katagina, like, you weren't a full series. Get the fuck out of here.
This is only the beginning.
Could you imagine the timeline where F91 becomes a full series and Cecily has Katagina arc?
I want to read the fucking book Tomino wrote for F91? Because from what I've been told, C-Book doesn't get into the F91 until the final battle with the Big Dumb Flower.
That's the most fucking Tomino thing I've ever heard.
I love every fucking thing I hear about Tomino novels I've ever heard. I've just been like, absolutely, 100%. King. What a guy.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's perfect. Wow. All right. Well, now we've talked about Gundam, as is compulsory. Should we get into Ultra Q?
Yeah. Probably should.
Yes, semi-derogatory.
All right. Summaries today going to be a little broader. I've had a very busy week. Episode 22 is called Metamorphosis. No, it's not. It's called Henshin. It's called motherfucking Henshin. Giant footprints are found in the woods. Could it be a Yeti? No, that's too normal. A woman named Ayako informs Yuriko that she believes the footprint belongs to her fiancé, Koji. That's more like it. That's Ultra Q. The gang...
I lost my big-footed fiancé.
I just want to put at the top here, this episode opens with like Seki hearing about the giant guy, and he's like, I'll send these 2 Intrepid reporters, sorry Yuriko, but I don't think you should go as a woman. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, this is episode 20, you know what she's been doing.
there's a little, I didn't talk about it in the summary, but there's this little side plot of 2 idiots associated with the newspaper who can't do Yuriko's job as well as Yuriko, but are really trying.
I'm just wondering if this episode was aired out of order, because this episode comes after the Peggy episode.
I have some thoughts about episode ordering, specifically with this one and the next one, but let's get through the summary that I'll...
Okay. The gang plus Dr. Ichinotani, he's back. He's finally back. He also gets to demonstrate some degree of actual scientific knowledge today. They listen to Ayako's story. The strange events took place when Koji, an entomologist, took Ayako to the woods to collect insects. They spotted a butterfly, a morpho butterfly, native to the Amazon, and Koji rushed on ahead to catch it. When Ayako caught up, she saw some fucking big butterflies. They had attacked Koji, spraying like pollen on him or something. Koji was clearly sick, and he warned Ayako to run before it was too late.
Butterfly used poison powder.
Yep. Yep.
Yep, there we go.
He fled, and Ayako followed. But when she caught up, Koji was slowly growing. She ran away in terror. Who knows how big Koji is now? The gang agrees to help. They track down Koji, and he's full kaiju size, with a cloth, so as not to offend the family audience, just wrapped around him. We're also back at Tarzan again, as he seemingly doesn't remember how to communicate with humans. The gang wants to rescue this poor man. Everyone else disagrees, and the SDF attacks. After a few really sick scenes of Koji wrecking shit, Ayako climbs a tower to plead with him to remember her, to remember who he is. And while that sappy shit's happening, Dr. Ichinotani fires the X-beam at Koji.
And he doesn't even wait for her to get down. He's like, nah, I got full faith in this bad boy.
The fucking, it's just the fact it's a giant laser called the X-beam. And it's like, yeah, I'm pushing the button now. And Koji flees the scene. With any luck, the X-beam should counter the morpho butterfly effect. Ayako and the gang chase after Koji and find him sleeping peacefully, restored to his normal size. The couple reunite, and all but Ippei are happy to give them a quiet moment, so Jun has to pull them aside. The end. I really like. I just really like every time this huge man is on screen. It looks really cool.
They have a lot of fun with it, especially with him over the trees, him breaking down the village walls.
This feels like a progression from like the a 1/8 project episode where they're just like, what if we just made a regular guy the kaiju?
So it's funny you say that. Going back to what I was talking about, the episode ordering. So I believe it's at the end of this one, they bring up the unbalanced zone in the narration again.
They do.
I have a suspicion this was one of the earlier ones. I don't know this for a fact. This is just a called shot. I have a feeling this is one of the earlier ones that they did. It feels very almost proof of concept for me with what this show ends up doing later on, if what I'm thinking is correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it seems a little not in a bad way, but it just seems a little more basic than what we've been getting with the other stuff. Like, even especially, like, the 1/8 project feels like something you would make after this, where it's like, oh, we have a giant guy. What if we have 2 giant guys and it's the main characters this time?
Yeah, like, if this was...
Meanwhile,
if
this episode's
was
like, what if there was water that made you grow big?
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's the whole thing where it's like, if this was a monster, this would be like, we'd be saying like, it's kind of bare bones. This is like not, sure, it looked good, but it was just pretty straightforward. It's just the fact that it's a guy is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's I see what you mean by it being like much more straightforward than a lot of the episodes we've been having lately. So
taking notes. Maybe having a giant guy there is good for the show.
Yeah. Sometimes what you need is a man to transform from normal size to really big. I think maybe there could be something in this. But yeah, Ichino Tani rocking up with fucking beams that cure poison stuff is amazing.
I would also like to give credit to Jun for the military is firing on this man and he just runs out in front of their guns and he's like, don't do that, and I'm like, holy shit. Terrified.
I know I'm a main character. I will be fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run out there. Yeah.
Embracing his role as an action hero to the fullest degree.
Absolutely.
Oh, I probably should have talked about this before we got into the episodes. I checked out the one dubbed episode of Ultra Q that exists.
The what?
Oh my god.
Yes, the people who, funny enough, because like the comparison you'll often see, and I mean, even I did it, the first episode, is, people are like, oh, Ultra Q is kind of like The Outer Limits or Twilight Zone with kaiju. People involved with both of those shows tried to get Ultra Q over to the West as a dubbed show. And several dubbed episodes exist, but unfortunately, the only one that's been made public is episode 3.
Man.
There are just others out there in private collections, but they haven't been released, which is sad. They
should be liberated.
They should.
Something private property anyway, etc.
Yeah, it's also like the color version, which like
I have to
but
know.
Yeah.
Do they talk about saltwater in the dub?
So I say I watched it, I just skimmed it. The one thing I did take away from like the half of it that I watched, just kind of like going through, Jun is named Jim and Ippei is named Happy.
No, that's so mean.
That's really funny. That's man.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have brought that up beforehand, but I did it earlier in the week and it completely skipped me by until we started talking about Jun. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Jim.
In an alternate world, we know him as Jim.
Jim and Happy.
Jim and Happy.
Truly burn
Yugi's best friend, Joey. The thing with we can't get into Yu-Gi-Oh, but the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh is I never really, I like watched the anime when I was a little bit when I was a tiny kid, but I didn't really remember it, and so when I read the manga, I got used to the Japanese names, and so when I see people talk about Joey and whatever,
Taya.
Yeah, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? So I'm just completely disconnected from Yu-Gi-Oh fandom.
I have the opposite where I'm like, oh yeah, that's Joey. When people use the actual
the most recent I've engaged with Yu-Gi-Oh is I watched like the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, which is a ridiculous shitpost anime. But I never finished it, unfortunately. But
yeah. Anyway, Ultra Q.
Ultra Q.
Yu-Gi-Oh exists in conspiracy theory land, kind of. It's got the pyramid shit.
I could see an Ultra Q episode where they're like, "There's this weird card game from another country and it's cursed everyone," or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I want the Ultra Q episode where Yugi Moto shows up.
See, what would make the episode really good is like Jun and Yuriko try and play and they suck, but Ippei is just really good at it for some reason.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what they do.
Fuck.
Dr. Ichinotani is like something about the pyramids or something. I don't know. He's just there.
Yeah. Oh man. We have just invented some Ultra Q fanfic. While we're meant to be talking about episode 22.
Whoever has an AO3 account, will get to work.
Big man fun. That's about all I gotta say. Like, this is just, I don't want to say short but sweet. They're all the same goddamn length, but like, this one's just an easy out, easy in, like easy in, easy out sort of deal. In hindsight, thinking about it just now, that butterfly didn't really matter. Like, that butterfly could have been anything. The guy didn't even do anything wrong. He just fucked with the wrong butterfly, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, not even in a bad way. He just wanted to catch it.
They don't even really deal with those butterflies still out there, still making people big.
That
maybe.
pool of big water.
Yeah.
Maybe that. Now I know that this isn't true, but allow me for a second to pretend to be this ignorant. Maybe the butterflies are what make Ultraman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you get 7 of them.
Yeah, you get 7 Ultramen. And that's how you get Ultra 7.
Eventually we'll get 80 Ultramen and Ultraman 80.
Yeah, God, that's gonna... Well, it's like a precursor to Squid Games.
I can tell we're avoiding talking about episode 23, so let's get into episode 23.
Jesus Christ. So I again watched this series of episodes of Ultra Q with my friends, because we had such a good time last time.
Yeah.
We had a less good time when we had this episode.
We are going full pith helmet mode.
Yeah.
This episode is called Fury of the South Sea. Let me get into this summary here. A young man called Yuzo is on his first fishing trip, and his father has to keep reminding him to call him captain instead of dad. In the night, their boat is attacked by a giant octopus, and Yuzo is the only survivor, washing ashore on Compass Island. Is it Compass Island? I briefly checked the wiki just to make sure I was getting the names of stuff right. But
I'm gonna be honest, I don't fucking care.
That sounds vaguely right to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Anyway, he is brought back to health by a native islander. Her name is Anita, and, well, hang on. Is her name... Again, wiki names.
I think she is ?
I did not bother checking through this episode. I do...
That sounds right, but there's also a lady in the next episode with a very similar name.
I think she's Anita.
Because I was very busy this week, did not write the summaries immediately after watching the episodes, and I was not going to watch this episode again. And I don't like relying on wiki info, but here we are. Her name is Anita, and she and Yuzo teach each other some of the basics of their languages. Some of the other islanders aren't too happy about Yuzo's presence. Yuriko's boss wants her to investigate the shipwreck, and her gang are teamed up with a nerd, and they travel to Compass Island. They are less than welcome on the island, but Jun pulls just an absolute classic. He saves one of the islanders' kids from danger, specifically a giant fucking octopus that none of the islanders are willing to defy, called Sudar. And having saved one child, the gang earns the right to stay. This is every movie. Talking with Yuzo and Anita, the gang learns that Sudar is essentially the islanders' god, as it protects them from outsiders. And Tsubaraya is not gonna let that stand. The gang urges Anita to reveal where Sudar's lair is so they can kill it and free the islanders from its tyranny. Yuzu... Yeah?
Yeah, if I want to say, like, Yuzu, he directly says to Anita, your beliefs are wrong. And I'm like, oh no.
Yes. which is I now here's the thing, right? Well, I'm just gonna interrupt this summary for a second just to introduce you. Subaraya. I'm gonna hold you, like, grab you by the lapels here through time. Their god is real. It's right there.
This just reminds me of like a shitpost I've seen of like a debate between like settlers and the indigenous people of the U.S. and it's like with like the idea like, oh, if we weren't here you would still be worshiping the sun, and the indigenous person like, the sun is real.
Yes, it's right there. Look, I can see it. Moron. Yeah, it's like that. Like the whole thing with I'm wasting podcast here, interrupting the summary to say this bit, but I feel like I have to say it before I forget. Is like, Jun points out is like maybe they worship it because like it protects them from outsiders. It protects them from like what's happening right now, the Japanese rocking up and interfering, and it's like I it's actually doing that. This is not less real than your god, Subaraya. Idiot. Anyway, Yuzo begs for the opportunity to avenge his father, and Anita relents, revealing that her father too was killed by Sudar. Armed with the knowledge of where Sudar can be found, Jun and Ippei escape the island on the boat they arrived in, on their way to inform whatever contact they have at the SDF.
They say at this part they're also going to Bacchus Island. I'm like, well, these are certainly some island names that are not local.
Yes. We'll get into, because they mention that this is like Micronesia, maybe. So we can only I can only speculate on what the actual like what the inspiration is for these particular people, but it might be very vague. It might not be very well informed.
Yeah.
When the boys return, they find that Yuriko, Yuzo, Anita, and the nerd are all going to be burned to death for revealing Sudar's location. Also, this might be a sacrifice to appease Sudar. Classic stuff. The SDF arrives, dropping depth charges right on Sudar's head, which drives the giant octopus ashore. The islanders are distracted by the confrontation with Sudar, giving Jun and Ippei the chance to rescue their friends. With newfound courage, the islanders fight Sudar. Yuzo joins in, as does Anita. Sudar is killed. Yuzo cries for his father. The gang get ready to leave, and Yuzo says he's staying with Anita. The end. This is not a good episode.
No, not at all.
Not even Jin and Ippei taking up spears themselves could save it.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because I like the octopus. I really do.
But
my god, everything around the octopus, horrendous.
I like the switching between like just having a real octopus and then a puppet.
Yes.
Yeah.
My foolish, just me being real. The show really got me when, like, the moment the octopus attacks the ship at the beginning. I was like, oh hell yeah, this is about to be my favorite episode of this show. No, it wasn't. No, it was not.
Also, you didn't mention it, but a few things about that opening sequence. One, so you referenced the captain and his son, whose name I've already forgotten. The Savior, capital S.
Yeah. Yuzo the Savior.
Yuzo. So it's those two, but then also this third guy shows up with this mesh shirt that just makes him look like a male stripper they brought on board. Very funny. And also too, they are specifically fishing on a part of the ocean that's known as the Ocean of Death. Don't do that.
Now, here's an idea, fellas. Let's not go to the Ocean of Death.
Well, unfortunately, this is the nature of capitalist enterprise.
Yes. People, yes, we are forced, yes. The struggling worker forced to fish in the Ocean of Death because they have to, classic.
See, I really thought when, like you read, I was really impressed by the opening, and especially when the father sacrifices his, life preserver or whatever, so that Yuzo can take it instead.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then
Yuriko wears a pith helmet.
Yes. She just wears. She's like, yeah, hell yeah, I get to wear it again. Oh man, it's the moment they had the reveal on like Yuriko and this nerd wearing the pith helmet and Junpei standing there dressed all completely normally, like vibes are off, vibes are off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did we figure out if this was like if there was any like particular thing that
I
was
tried
getting referenced
looking,
here?
but I not try very hard because I fuck this episode, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair, to be honest. Because the episode, like, they have a bunch of they do the thing where like they have the islanders speak their own language, but the nerd that I mentioned, he's an interpreter, so he is there to interpret what characters are saying, and it's, I can't tell. Sometimes it felt like that what they were saying did not seem like it would have matched up with what the interpreter claimed that they were saying. But again, that might be just the nature of translation, or it might just be the nature of like it might be it seems like a real language, but I just don't know whether the people making the show were that invested in it.
Yeah.
Judging by the attitude of this episode towards them.
I mean, the island is also not
Yeah.
a real island, so it's like, they probably just
Yeah.
made up some bullshit.
Yeah. It's tricky to say, but yeah, it sucks. Japan's history with little islands around there in like Oceania, not great. Pretty rough. Pretty fucking bad. There's like a couple of episodes ago I was talking about, what was it, the guy who made that propaganda movie where it's about like bringing civilization to the various like little island people. I was like, okay. I guess this is also the Mothra vibe, because I did not watch Mothra.
Yes.
Mothra.
Yes. That is exactly what I was about to say. Is I'm happy I watched Mothra before this, because Mothra also not great in this front, in my opinion, but it is so much nicer to the indigenous people that it is like representing, and it's very clear that the movie wants you to be on their side, and I just do not feel it at all in this episode. It views them as so backwards.
The quote-unquote hero
like,
of this episode says the indigenous beliefs are wrong.
Yes,
while the
it's
octopus
awful.
is right there.
It's so. I was so staggered by that specific line of like, no, it's not. It's a real octopus. Anyway, yeah, I don't think it's a great episode. I also don't think
this might be my least favorite, honestly.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's a shame, because I like the octopus a lot, and I like the real octopus walking on the set, but like,
yeah,
it's so unbelievably horrible.
What episodes can we say are been bad? Like, I feel like there's episodes we've been like cooler on because they're messy, but I don't think anyone has been like this. I
was like down on Goro, but like,
yeah.
Even in comparison to this, Goro is like about shit.
I think I have like a trilogy, but even within that trilogy of Ultra Q episodes I would call bad, this is the only one that I would actually be like, I kind of don't want to watch this again even.
Yeah. Trilogy?
It's Goro and Goro, this one, and then the Mount Fuji is blowing up rock monster.
Yeah, the one I just forget exists all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and to be fair, I think that's the least bad of those three. It's just I was kind of like, this is whatever.
Well, yeah,
it's also bad for normal reasons.
Yeah, it's not like making me wince like the other two are.
This is pretty fucked up. Luckily, I really also before I move on to the next one, I think this episode is vengeance for my comments about the pyramids. I will never tempt fate again. I do expect pyramids to come up in Ultraman or in some Ultra series thing at some point. It just seems appropriate.
When you have themed like villains or episodes, at some point, all of them get to ancient Egypt stuff eventually.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of ancient stuff, episode 24 is called The Idol of Goga.
Or as I like to call it, Gurren Lagann.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh no.
Spoilers. I quite like this episode.
This episode is wild.
Yeah.
I love this episode.
With the help of some shady guys, a woman steals a rare statue and also kidnaps a girl named Tammy for some reason. Later, she will claim it was an accident. I'm not sure I believe
that. It was not an. That is, I do not believe it.
No.
Excuse me, officer. I did not mean to kidnap this girl while doing crimes.
It reminded me of the Dragon Palace episode where the kid's like, oh man, they got inside the truck, and then the robbers just drag the kid inside the truck. It's like, This is complicating your robbery needlessly.
Yeah. A spy, a secret agent, a guy in a suit follows them by car and is almost caught in a trap as he narrowly escapes an exploding warehouse. The woman, going by the name Aline, is working for Iwakura, who has arranged for the theft of numerous artifacts from museums all over the world. He claims all of these pieces pale in comparison to the statue Aline has brought today. The Idol of Goga, which was created in the ancient civilization of Alanka 6,000 years ago. The idol is inscribed with a curse. To the arrogant ones, I hold the curse of 6,000 years. Alanka sinks with its sins. It's at this moment that Iwakura is like, a curse of 6,000 years. That's a great phrase. And I have to pause and laugh for a bit. Thank you, Mephiles.
Mephiles can't come soon enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what the good version of a Sword of Damocles is, but that's what Mephiles is for this podcast.
Yes. Anyway, now we've fucked with a cursed idol. Time to kick in the weird shit. Late at night,
Hell yes.
One of Iwakura's goons gets straight up zapped by it. It then proceeds to fall over and shatter, and from within, a strange snail emerges and slinks into the shadows.
Your civilization's ancient idols have like ghosts and shit in it. Mine is snails because we're built different.
Yeah, it's way cooler. It's got I like its shell. It's got like spines and stuff coming. It's good. I like it. I think this might be my favorite kaiju. Spoilers, it becomes big.
For me. Yeah.
Aline finds the dead goon and the broken statue. Then Iwakura finds Aline, and Aline's like, I can explain. Meanwhile, the secret agent guy from earlier has been straight up murdered, sniped from the window of Iwakura's headquarters as he drives loops around the building. The gang, on the trail of the kidnapped girl, happens to be on the scene and stops the agent's runaway car, and they hear the voice of Aline contacting the now dead man she calls M2.
To clarify, they drive beside the car and Jun jumps in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jun doing action man stuff.
I almost forgot.
Unfortunately, Aline's call gets her caught. She is actually Liang Min, someone working for the museum that the idol is from, I think. Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, broad strokes here. The gang makes it into Iwakura headquarters, and in the process of a struggle and a Scooby-Doo chase, the gang, Liang Min, and the kidnapped girl Tammy all wind up in the same locked room, while the snail, remember there's a snail, I think it's called Goga, has grown fucking huge. Iwakura gets crushed to death under a statue, and Goga instantly becomes my favorite kaiju as its giant snail shell becomes a drill and it burrows its way out of the building. Oh man, it's a fucking cool snail.
It's really cool.
The extended gang is rescued, but now they have to defeat the monster. They conclude it must burn, as Alanka did 6,000 years ago. They first blind Goga with a bazooka. A note here, someone let Ippei touch a bazooka.
Yeah, Jun is driving.
Yeah.
Ippei's holding the bazooka.
Yeah.
This military guy is just like, well, one of you got to do it, I guess. We didn't bring a second dude along. Hey, Ippei, want to just like serve as my bazooka mount for me? It's just
She's
like,
like,
oh
"Hell yeah."
my god.
Yeah. They first blind Gogo with a bazooka and then drop incendiary bombs on it, and it dies. But not before it has the opportunity to squish the one remaining Iwakura goon.
I feel like the funniest thing is that both this goon and Iwakura himself just die from being crushed by the slowest things possible.
Yes. Yes.
Also, I want to point out that it's so fucking funny to me that, like, this guy has like a sniper rifle with like a honest to god like scope on it, and for a lot of the times when he's shooting at the gang, he is not aiming down that scope. He's just firing right from the hip, and I'm like, that's not what. It's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, that's the end. That's the end of the episode. My first note is Baron Spider had no excuse. Those motherfuckers should be dead.
Yeah,
there was so many people died this episode.
Yeah.
This episode just ends with Tokyo on fire, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Now, is the difference that the people who died this time were morally questionable?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's probably it.
Yeah, I think that this episode's just, the narrative's just like, damn, maybe the city is evil and it deserves it. And I'm like, well, okay.
Sometimes you feel, well, hang on. We've just come off episode 23. Maybe the city is evil. There was a lot of like, it just opens on some James Bond shit, with just following people in cool 60s cars, and like pulling tricks on each other with the fucking time bomb on the car that they left behind in the warehouse. So just sick. Just some good vibes.
Yeah.
I think I don't know why the child is in this episode.
I don't either. I think maybe as an excuse to get the gang involved, but I feel like you could have just done that with the artifact itself.
Yeah.
It's that the thing I always default to with like this and the original Kamen Rider, when like there's a kid there that doesn't maybe need to be, is I'm like, is there someone working on set who had a kid who like wanted, you know what I mean? I feel like that is sometimes a factor, because it's just like, let him be in the thing. But that's me talking out of my ass. This could be like a real deal child actor with like ambitions and a long storied career that I do not know about, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, this episode managing to basically not really be racist, which, when you deploy ancient idol shit Indiana Jones style, you're dealing with some latent racism. But it's just,
it belongs in a museum. Well,
yeah. I just think the moment it cracked open and it was a snail, I was like, oh, okay, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah. What my friend's reaction when it cracked open and there was a snail inside, they're like, is there a fucking snail inside? And I was just sitting there like, yeah, that checks out with this show.
Just like, I was prepared for like some weird ghost shit, because that's what we expect from Idol, and no, we got a snail.
Yeah.
This show's brain is huge.
It's so huge, especially because like it kind of gestured at ghost shit, because like she was looking, there was that moment where she's looking into the eyes of the idol and like having like a weird like space out moment, and like kind of almost like seems like she was like communicating with it, like it was warning her about things. I was like, okay,
yeah,
we got ghost idols shit. It's like, no, that's the snail. The snail's psychic.
I was really waiting for the show to be like, she's actually 6,000 years old.
Yeah.
Nah, she's just undercover.
Yeah.
She's just chilling. There was, again, just some good spy shit. I thought the moment where she hid her like secret wristwatch like phone away, and Iwakura just like walks in and then just walks over to his desk and just hits play on the recording of her doing the thing. I was like, fucking owned. It's obliterated.
I do enjoy how we always, every single episode we've talked about the variety that Ultra Q brings to the table.
Yes.
But I have a massive amount of respect for the people making this show to be able to play in so many different genres and obviously send up to so many different types of storytelling. Like, this does have a lot of like Bondy and spy thriller shit in here, and it never feels corny or like it's being done poor. Like, these people understand why those stories are entertaining beyond just the surface aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
And they managed to just make them work while also never sacrificing the identity of being the kaiju anthology, like fun time star hi-fi special effects thing too.
Yeah.
Masterfully made. Just goddamn.
Also, there's a Scooby-Doo chase.
There is.
Yeah. There's a point where they knock a gun out of a guy's hand and could very clearly grab it, and they don't, and I was like shrieking, like, no, don't. Just take it. You don't have to use it. Just make sure he can.
I didn't think a Scooby-Doo chase could really work in live action. It was great. It was so good.
Yeah.
Like them turning corners. I was like, you can very clearly see that person, but this is fantastic. I don't care.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Just a really good time.
A good palate cleanser.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
That 1-3 really bad, but you know.
Yeah. I will say, I think that is the only episode of this show that, like, I will forever be like, yeah, that's a bad one. Like, even Goro and Goro has some heinous shit, but I can scrape that off and enjoy the big monkey gulping down milk. That octopus was not cool enough to ignore the blatant racism on display for like any time people are on screen. It's so bad.
I can look up a YouTube video of an octopus. It's cool. Octopuses are just cool.
One thing I did want to say about the Sudar episode though. Again, talking about the ordering of this show, I do kind of wish, now that we are towards the end here, I think there would have been some decisions I would have made regarding episode ordering. Like, again, I would have had Giant Man probably be a little bit earlier on. It feels like something they filmed before a lot of the other episodes, because, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of lessons being learned there. But then also, too, the last 2 sessions, we've had a lot of like aqua kaiju, and you know, that's okay, that's fine, but I would have spaced them out maybe a little bit more.
I also wonder if maybe the Garamon sequel could have happened later.
Yeah, that came up pretty fast.
Yeah,
I would have moved some of the sea stuff a little bit earlier then maybe, and not had it all backloaded in the series for some reason.
Yeah, the payoff on Pegula coming back definitely, it helped that it was kind of a long play. It was like, damn, okay, Pegula's coming back.
And in the episode, they bring up the time gap. Like, she says it's been about a year since you were at the South Pole.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can certainly see moving around some of this stuff. You could get like
episode order.
It is an unbalanced episode order. Maybe that means it's good. Maybe it's appropriate.
Maybe.
Never mind. Super Riot, his brain is too big.
I will say, as we get closer to the show, Red, I'm kind of terrified that maybe the third Pegula fight will not happen.
I have faith. I don't, but if I say it,
maybe we can will it into.
Maybe you can will into existence the episode from before we were born.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be easy. Just like getting that new Yu-Gi-Oh themed episode of Ultra Q.
Maybe this is what like Neo Ultra Q and Ultra Q Dark, whatever the fuck it's called.
Dark Fantasy.
Yes, it better
Dark
be.
Fantasy, yeah. I am like so looking forward to getting to those like years from now, but I'm also terrified they're gonna be like edgelord shit.
Somehow I feel the vibe is more from Neo Ultra Q and less from Dark Fantasy. But also I don't know. I don't have a box for Dark Fantasy. Like, we don't have one yet, so
yeah.
I have zero knowledge of that show other than it is a new Ultra Q thing in the early aughts.
That is an edgy period.
I am extremely looking forward to the Ultra Q movie in the 90s, though.
I don't even think I knew that existed.
Yeah, in 1990, there's an Ultra Q movie.
Damn, I didn't look at that spreadsheet nearly well enough.
No, I guess not, but that's fine, I guess.
Do we have...
Oh, man.
Thank you, Mel. Do we... Yeah, I guess I can check the sheet to find out. Do we have the Ultra Q movie over here yet, or can I not buy that?
We don't have it
Is
yet.
that going to be a... Okay, that'll be a torrent.
Yeah, literally the only Ultra Q things we have is original and Neo.
Okay. Then I have all the Ultra Q that I can buy. I don't need to buy any of this shit. I know this is fucking most of it's up for streaming for free, but I enjoy having all of this shit. And like, it's so goddamn cheap to get Ultraman stuff. It is unbelievable.
It is not as cheap for me, who has to order from deep discount.
I don't.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know if that sale will still be on when this episode goes up, so I'm not gonna plug this. I'm like, go buy it right now. It's cheap.
Yeah. I mean, even normally priced, like, I bought a bunch of the Ultraman shit that we will be watching, and a lot of that stuff even just was not all too expensive. I don't know if they just made a lot of it and people aren't buying, or what their strategy is there, but I don't know. I appreciate how accessible, like, all things considered, the fact that, like, of all of the, like, old, like, multimedia giant, like, franchise shit that I've gotten into over my years of being a nerd, I think Ultraman by far has been the easiest where I've gotten into it, and it's just like, oh yeah, do you want all of it? You can fit these into a couple paychecks.
Super Eye and Mill Creek are just like
shocking,
pumping it out. Apparently, I think they went through all of the things in the initial deal, so it's remains to be seen what they'll put out next, because no one is sure, but we'll see.
We will see.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will make the parts of the spreadsheet that's like, we just don't have this lesser.
And
yeah, there are one of the reasons that people should send us emails is because there is some shit on our list that is like, we want to watch this. I don't fucking know how. It's not out there. If people have information, they should, we want to hear.
Thankfully, most of that stuff is like further down the road, but like, yeah, like, fuck, I can't find Ultraman graffiti anywhere.
Damn.
But yeah.
Well,
we should have just stopped talking about the show.
Yeah, we to be honest,
I think we were done.
The
drill snail is big and cool. I don't. Yeah. That's about all I had to say about that one. That's a good episode.
Yeah. Big fan of the drill snail. Big fan of Goga. Unless we have anything more to say about episode 24, that might be a podcast. I realize 1 hour and like 20 feels short. I promise it isn't. We just got you. We just did like 2 hours that one time. So yeah, that might be a show today. What was that? Sorry.
It'll just ebb and flow.
Yeah. So plugs. If you want to follow the show, you can do so at ultra_Q on Twitter. That is at ultra_QUEUE. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at gender_redacted. Who wants to go next?
I will. I'm at Rosenbrand on Twitter. Also Rosenbrand on YouTube. Got some stuff cooking in the oven for that. Also still been working on secret project thing that I will hope to have more info about in the upcoming weeks. We will see. And again, if any of you fuckers out there want to play some games of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Under Night In Birth EXE Late Clear, or Melty Blood Type Lumina, please hit me up. Technically, I did sign up for a mystery game tournament, so as long as I'm playing any multiplayer video game, I am practicing, because you never know what's going to show up there. Yeah, I would like to not go 0-2 in all 3 of the tournaments I signed up for. So,
good luck.
Thank you.
Mel.
Yeah. My Schrodinger's Twitter account is at Dear Crowns. I guess I have a Twitch at Cosmic_Crown. We have an email address that's ultraqpod@gmail.com. No emails this week. We got lucky last week. But, you know.
And that's now in the Twitter bio for easy reference, right?
Yeah.
Thank you,
so-
Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. 1 week later.
And yeah, and I think that's about it.
Oh, wait.
Thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Do we want to say about...
Oh, yeah. So, when we get to Ultraman, which is an alarmingly not that
2
far
weeks.
away,
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
God.
Next week is the last time we talk about. Obviously, it's not the last time we talk about Ultra Q. We like Ultra Q, but it's the last episode of for Ultra Q. And then we're moving on to Ultraman. He's the Silver Man is right there.
He's out my window. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Mom said it's my turn to play on the Xbox.
Yeah. The thing that I wanted to mention is that the episodes, when we go to Ultraman, episodes of this show will be coming out on Thursdays instead of on Saturdays. The schedule has been weird for a bit. Hopefully Thursdays should be a little more normal. Yeah, that's it. So the first episode of the Ultraman series of Ultra Q will be coming out, I guess, will be coming out on that Thursday.
Yeah.
The week after we finish Ultra Q.
Yeah, we got moved to a new time slot because the executives wanted to fill the Saturday slot with the imbalance zone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
American Prometheus kicked us off.
He's doing numbers.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He's as someone who wants to be small so that he doesn't need to pay taxes. I think American Prometheus is terrified of those butterflies. They want to make him big again.
Yeah. There's nothing scarier to American Prometheus than
Unfortunately,
morpho butterflies.
Unfortunately, American Prometheus can't play Xbox with those small hands. He needs Ultraman-sized hands.
That's true.
Damn. Well, rip to American Prometheus. Join us next time for episodes. Well, so this is the thing. We're finishing off Ultra Q. So we've got
last
4
4
episodes.
4 episodes.
Yep.
I think I'm going to spread them out throughout the week and just enjoy the slow burn and cry
no, you won't.
as this beautiful show comes to an end.
You will watch them on Sunday morning.
No, I haven't done that in a while.
I have to watch. I have to watch them spread out this week because I also have a fucking bunch of Destiny and Dunby to watch this week.
Oh yes.
See, that's the benefit of watching these late at night with friends is that I'm not watching them Sunday morning.
Yes, right. Yes. Man. So we got the last 4 episodes of Ultra Q. That'll be good. It'll be good. I have faith. Ultra Q is.
I hope so. It would be. How much of a bummer would it be if the last 4 episodes are just the worst shit we've ever seen?
If they pull out 4 intensely racist episodes in a row about some Micronesian islands.
Super Eye going back to the well of when he was a propaganda movie maker during
the war.
Oh no! One Fear shirt is now on.
Oh no. Well, join us next week for that. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.